6:30.
Yep, we're making sure she's up. I'd like to welcome everyone, ladies and gentlemen, to the Winter City Council meeting for Monday, October 2nd. At this time, the City of Winter will implement roll call.
Councilman Clay.
Here.
Councilman Hawkins.
Here.
Councilman Clunt.
Here.
Councilman Schramm.
Here.
Councilman Schuyler.
Here.
Councilman Sprinkle.
Here.
If you'd all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, having had time to review your packets, are there any conflict of interest in tonight's agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I have a conflict with new business number 2.
Councilman Clay notes he has a conflict with new business item number 3. Any other conflicts from council? All right, hearing and seeing none, City of Winter will move on to this evening's consent agenda. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Schuyler has made a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Sprinkle. Floor is open to comment or question. Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Council, having had time to review the packet and the main agenda, is there a motion on tonight's agenda?
I'll make I'll second that.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to approve. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Schuyler. Floor is open to comment or question. Hearing and seeing neither, Chair will call the question. All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. City of Winter now moves on to recognition of visitors. As with all city meetings, there's a 10-minute period for individuals to address the Winter City Council. Is there public input tonight?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
If you would.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilmen, and other City of Winter administration officials. I'm Lana Sticklin. I'm a city resident, and I'm also an employee of a business actually right across the street. Thank you for this time to offer input for some troubling issues that I feel will adversely affect our town now and into the future. As a city resident and an employee of an insurance business within the city limits, I bring forth the following issues as well as some possible solutions. The first is a horrific smell at the garbage recycling center building. I myself have been to the facility to take my recycling, and as I exited my vehicle, I got the strong smell of human feces. My son was with me, and we quickly directed our recycling to the different areas with the assistance of the employee on staff at that time. I literally held my breath until we were exiting the west doors of the building. In addition, we had to leave the windows down on the vehicle as we drove back into town until the swarm of flies that entered when the doors were open flew out. My first thought was for the welfare of the city employee that had to endure that smell for the time that he is working. And I am sure it stays with him in his nostrils even after he has gone home for the day. I have no solution for the garbage issue or the smell. However, for the items that are able to be recycled, could there be metal storage containers set up outside of the building for drop-off? And as they get full, it could be transported to where they are emptied and returned. As with any problem solution, it takes the proper funds to be budgeted. And since the city budget has already been set for 2024, I don't expect to see any changes in the near future, but I wish for it to be addressed for next year's budget. Secondly, as an insurance agent with 30-plus years of experience, I have had the opportunity of seeing the many ups and downs of insurance rates and the changes that come after a major storm or natural disaster. It may not have occurred within our own state of South Dakota. However, we eventually do feel the repercussions of the event with the higher cost of materials and labor. I am here to represent our many customers that are already feeling the stress of higher insurance premiums, property insurance deductibles that are being increased by carriers to amounts not seen before, and most importantly, insurance companies that are leaving the insurance industry altogether. Every town has a protection class rating. Back in 2014, the city of Winter was moved from protection class 7 to 06, which helped reduce premiums based on our fire department response, water flow capacity, and community risk factors. I am here to speak against the amendment of ordinance number 1061 and hope that it will be voted down this evening and have it remain as currently written. I am not against agricultural diversification to allow a farmer, rancher, or any business entity to have additional cash flow throughout downtimes of their year. What I am against is that the diversification is encroaching into an area that is certainly exposed to many different elements of risk, such as a lit cigarette thrown out the window, vandalism, lightning strike, wildfire. I think we have all recently seen how wildfires have destroyed property in other states, even entire towns. Just down the road on Highway 18, it was showing how quickly a hay fire can spread. And thankfully, with a quick response from the fire department, it was contained to that premise. City of Winter is so blessed to have an amazing fire department with quick response time. But what if the fire location prevents them from getting access to the station to fight it? I am not offering a solution to this matter, as it is not a positive change to an ordinance that was put in place for our community safety, and that would open the door for future storage of flammable agricultural products within the city limits. Thank you for your time and attention.
Is there any other public input this evening for the Winter City Council? Hearing none, the City of Winter will move on to communications. Our first communication tonight from the City of Winter is for the fuel bids.
Fuel bids for the previous 2 weeks on 9/20. Sorry, I gotta enlarge this. Number 2, dyed diesel, was a tie between Vollen Oil and Schaefer. Number 1, dyed diesel was Vollen Oil, 50/50, Vollen Oil. Regular unleaded was a tie between Vollen Oil and Schaefer. Propane was Schaefer, and fuel oil was a tie between Vollen Oil and Schaefer. To clarify, when there is a tie, our city attorney has advised us, and if you have more questions on it, you are more than welcome to ask him. At that time, the city of Winter can utilize whatever they feel would best suit the situation that the city of Winter is in,
Among those,
among those that are
Tied
tied.
bidders.
If
yes.
Fuel bids for 9/27, number 2 dyed diesel, Schaefer Oil. Number 1 dyed diesel, Vollen Oil, 50/50, Vollen Oil. Regular unleaded, Schaefer. Propane, Schaefer. Fuel oil, Schaefer.
That concludes the fuel bid communications. Our next communication at this point is for new hires in the city of Winter. That shall come from the finance officer.
I was not notified of any new hires in the city of Winter.
And that concludes recognition of visitors and communications. At this point, the city of Winter moves on to department reports. There are no department reports. Actually, there may be. Troy, do you have a department report? Chandra, do you? It says second meeting of the month, and this is the first. Gotcha. At this time, the city of Winter will move on to bid openings. This morning at 1 o'clock in the council community room, there was 2 bid openings that were opened. First bid opening was for a used truck for the city of Winter. City of Winter received 1 bid, and that was from High Plains Truck and Trailer, Scott Mathis, in the amount of $97,900. That was the only bid received from the city of Winter. It is the recommendation of Public Works Director Troy Kruger to purchase the used truck from High Plains Truck and Trailer. The second bid opening this afternoon at 1 o'clock for the city of Winter was an RFP for citywide pest control. City of Winter received 3 bids this afternoon at 1 p.m. for this letting. First bid came in from Olson's Pest Technicians. The annual amount was $3,780. The second bid was received from Welsh's Pest Control LLC. Bid amount received was $3,590. And the final bid was received from Justin's Pest Control LLC. The amount submitted was $5,120. It was the recommendation of the Public Works Director, Public Safety Commissioner, and Finance Officer to award the bid to Welsh's Pest Control in the amount of $3,590. That concludes,
Mayor,
go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When we say citywide pest control, we're only talking about city-owned and operated buildings and structures, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And specific ones at that. There's 4 specific sites that this refers to, and that was placed in the bid notice. The Law Enforcement Center, which includes both buildings, this building, and then, so those are pest control and insect control. And then the landfill and the recycle center are both pest control.
Very good, thank you. I thought maybe I was gonna get free service with my house.
Understand.
Nope.
When we do citywide cleanup, my house gets it.
Yep, I understand.
Not inside.
That does conclude bid openings for the city of Winter. City of Winter will now move on to public hearings. There is one public hearing for this evening. It's for an on-sale liquor license transfer from Wings and More from 309 West 2nd Street to 304 West 2nd Street. Is there any public present that would like to testify on this particular item? Hearing and seeing none, Chair or Council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the on-sale liquor license transfer for Waynes and More from 309 West Second Street to 304 West Second Street.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Schuyler has made a motion to transfer the on-sale liquor license from Wings and More, for Wings and More, from 309 West 2nd Street to 304 West 2nd Street. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Clay. Floor is open to comment or question.
Everything is in order in our office. The address has been verified where we allow liquor licenses in the city of Winter by our planning and zoning director as well.
Any other comment or question? Hearing none, Chair calls the question. All those in favor of approving the transfer, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, this motion carries. City of Winter moves on. There are no Board of Adjustments for this evening's meeting. Next item will be old business for the City of Winter. There are 3 items to be considered tonight. Council, item number 1, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve second reading for passage and approval of ordinance 1061, hay bales in the city limits.
Is there a second to the motion? Councilman Schramm has made a motion to place on second reading for passage and approval ordinance 1061, hay bales in the city limits. The motion has been seconded by Councilman Clunt. Floor is open to comment or question.
Mr. Mayor, you are aware that there's a daycare going in down in that vicinity.
This is a comment?
Yes.
Go ahead and share it.
It does have conflict with that due to the health of those kids.
Any other comment or question? Hearing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Clunt?
Yes.
Councilman Hockett?
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle?
No.
Councilman Schuyler?
Yes.
Councilman Clay?
Yes.
Councilman Schramm?
Aye.
Ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 2, council, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve second reading for passage and approval of ordinance 1062, quorum or planning commission.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to put on second reading for passage and approval ordinance 1062, an ordinance regarding quorum or the planning commission. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Hockett. Floor is open to comment or question. Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler,
Yes.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
and Councilman Clunt.
Yes.
Ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 3, council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion for second reading for passage and approval of ordinance 1063, Hall Roads.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Schramm has made a motion to place on second reading for passage and approval ordinance 1063, an ordinance regarding Hall Roads. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Clunt. Floor is open to comment or questions. Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler,
Yes.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
Councilman Clint,
Yes.
and Councilman Hockett.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and this motion carries. That concludes old business with the City of Winter. City of Winter will now move on to new business. Tonight, under new business, there are 9 items to be considered by the Winter City Council. Item number 1, council, do you have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to accept the federal and state South Dakota Department of Public Health and Emergency Management Funds reimbursement of $54,971.81 due to declaration.
Is there a second to this motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay has made a motion to accept the federal and state South Dakota Department of Public Safety and Emergency Management funds in the amount of $54,971.84, a reimbursement due to declaration. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Sprinkle. Floor is open to comment or question.
I would ask the finance officer, should the motion also contain the breakdown that's there, or
It doesn't need to.
doesn't need?
That was more for public information and for council's information.
And for your information, I didn't want to read all that.
I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
It definitely, we have to put it back into those funds with it being a reimbursement grant. For the public's information, this is due to the snowstorms that were, the City of Winter received December 12th through the 25th, and the work that was put in through our departments to keep the streets cleared. If you remember, a couple meetings ago, you actually accepted another $9,800 approximately for the electric department for utility poles. So it's just shy of $70,000 that the city's being reimbursed for those snowstorms. So it definitely, when we have a major event like that, it does cost the city of money to make sure that the streets are cleared and that emergency measures are able to happen.
Any other comment or question? Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Schuyler,
Yes.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
Councilman Clunt,
Yes.
Councilman Hockett, and Councilman Sprinkle.
Yes.
Ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 2, council, do you have a motion?
I'll make a, that's supposed to be read, make a motion
To waive?
to waive the pending special assessments of parcel 4803-3607, $708.44, and parcel 4826-0207, $1,112.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to waive the pending special assessments for parcel 84.03.46.07 in the amount of $708.44 and parcel 48.26.02.07 in the amount of $1,112. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Clay. Floor is open to comment or question.
And these totals are, the county has taken these properties, is that correct? And then these are the liens that we have against these certain properties?
These are the pending liens. So council has already made the motion in previous meetings to waive all previous assessments on these properties. And then there were some new assessments that were placed on it this year. And so the county, since they have taken it for possession now, has requested that these new ones not even be placed on the assessment roll, that they be waived before they get to that point. They are
They're
aware that
incurred
this-
then in the past calendar year, is that correct?
In 2023, that is correct.
Probably the summer.
Yes,
Probably
this
the
summer.
summer.
Yep, they were for mowing and weed eating, both of them were. And the county is aware that it's their responsibility to take care of that, and they've been in close communication with their planning and zoning director.
Okay.
Other comments or questions? Hearing and seeing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
Councilman Clunt,
Yes.
Councilman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
and Councilman Schuyler.
Aye.
Ayes have it. This motion will carry. Item number 3, the City of Winter will excuse Councilman Clay. Council, is there a motion on this item for the chair?
Mr. Mayor, before,
Got to have a motion, sir.
I'll make a motion not to waive the bill of $4,334.90 due to an accident on 7/18/23, replace a pole.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to not waive the bill of $4,334.90 due to an accident on July 18th, 2023, replacing a City of Winter pole. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Hockett. The floor is open to comment or question. Councilman Clunt, the floor is yours. Pass. Councilman Hockett. Any other comment or question?
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment.
Please, Councilman Schramm.
This pole, I understand, was knocked down by an accident where a person with their vehicle hit a City of Winter pole, and the insurance company was told, don't worry about it, you don't have to pay for the pole. I think that is wrong. That anytime that there is any city property damaged, we should expect payment from an insurance company. Because the insurance company was told that there would be no assessment against them, they took the position and told their insured, don't worry about paying this $4,000 bill because the city's not gonna charge us for it. That is not how I think the city should operate. We should have, in the first place, not given an answer like that when damage was done to city property. That should be for the insurance people to settle, not any one of us, in charge of the city. So we've done this before. I find it a hard vote to vote not to, or to vote to waive this. No, I'm not even saying it right. Because our Public Works Director, who is in charge of the Public Works, told this person not to worry about being paid, we're not gonna send you a bill, or whatever it was our Public Works Director said. I think it's important that we back him, but that we also make him understand that this is not his authority to make. The pole was in useful condition. It was holding up whatever it was supposed to hold up, and until this person hit the pole, it didn't break. Now, to tell them that because they damaged city property and they don't have to pay, when the insurance company would surely have paid. We beat ourselves out of $4,000, and I don't like the idea.
Is that all, Councilman Schramm?
Hey, sometimes I get smart enough to shut up. But I will vote to waive this bill.
So, any other comment or question?
I would just advise the council that if we waive this bill, where do we stop? We have to then waive every bill, depending on the circumstances going forward from this time frame. And that's not what we're here as a council to represent the people on their tax dollars. It's not a very good use. And I think that we need to hold this bill accountable.
Other comment?
You've been listening to your city attorney, haven't you?
Other
No, I
comment?
haven't talked to you about it. That's my feelings,
Council,
representing the people.
Councilman Schuyler.
I would like Mr. Jensen to weigh in legally, responsibility.
Just
Well,
opinion?
Number one, until council acts to either waive or not waive, there is nothing legal that has been done to settle or resolve the issue. So it's in front of council. What may or may not have been said to an insurance agent here in town is not binding upon the city in this case. Number two, I agree with what Mr. Hack says, just from the standpoint of being aware of the fact that when you waive something like this, there will be people in the future will be expecting similar treatment.
Any final comment or question? Rebuttal?
You know I have one.
I know you do. That's why I'm opening it. You have 1
This
minute.
is- This is quite a concern to me because it wasn't very long ago that we told the person who had purchased a pickup from us that he could leave it on our property after the deadline date.
I think
for
we're
him
gonna
to
get
pick
into,
up.
Councilman Schramm, I'm gonna ask you to withhold on that because you're really on the edge of getting into a personnel matter that does not belong out here
Very good.
from the public.
I
Thank you.
believe that the Public Works Director usurped his authority by telling these people they didn't have to pay for this pole that they broke. I think he should be reprimanded for it.
And I'll ask you to withhold that
Yes.
comment as well.
Well, you already did.
Nope,
Could,
cannot.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman
Could we go
Schuyler.
into executive session to get,
Is there a second to that motion? There is a motion to go into executive session. There is a second. All in favor of entering
I would
executive
like to call
session?
the question and vote on this matter.
All those in favor of going into executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. We are in executive session per SDCL 1-25 subsection
Two.
2. Subsection 2. 1. I'm going to pause the camera. We'll let you know as soon as we're done. I'll go get you.
I'll make a motion, we table this until Troy has a chance to work with Kurt.
I'll second that.
Let me get to my chair so I can hear your motion. One more time,
When
Councilman
we make a
Sprinkle.
motion to table, you don't have to give a reason.
No, you do not.
Okay. I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second the.
Councilman Sprinkle has made a motion to table. Councilman Schuyler has seconded. All in favor of tabling this item, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Item number 3 is tabled for 2 weeks. Thank you, sir.
Will we have a meeting on Columbus holiday?
No, I'm
Okay.
closed.
2 weeks in a day, Mr. Mayor.
Item number 4, council, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to award DG Launches Pest Control LLC for city pest control in the amount of $3,590.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second that.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to award the citywide RFP for pest control to Welch's Pest Control LLC in the amount of $3,590. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Sprinkle.
Same thing.
Floor is open to comments or questions. And council, hearing none, we will do a roll call vote. Councilman, I think Schramm.
Aye.
Councilman Clunt.
Aye.
Councilman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle.
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler.
Aye.
And Councilman Clay.
Yes.
The ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 5. Council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to prepare a letter of commitment as participating jurisdiction in the Tripp County Hazard Mitigation Plan update and authorize the mayor to sign.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Councilman Schramm has made a motion to prepare a letter of commitment as participating jurisdiction in the Tripp County Hazard Mitigation Plan update and authorize the mayor to sign. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Hockett. Floor is open now to comment or question.
Mr. Mayor and council, what this is the city of Winter, in joint forces with Tripp County, the city of Cologne, city of New Witten. We all are part of the Tripp County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's time to do an update on that, and this letter ultimately states that the city does plan to continue to do that. This plan is actually what helped us get our FEMA reimbursement that you accepted earlier in the year, because we are part of that.
Any other comment or question? Hearing none, Chair will call the question. All those in favor of approving this letter of commitment to participating jurisdiction in the Tripp County Hazard Mitigation Plan update and have the mayor sign, would you please say aye? Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 6, council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd put on first reading of ordinance 1064, golf course water rates, raising them a nickel per 1,000 gallons and beyond.
Yearly. Yep. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Councilman Schramm has made a motion to place on first reading ordinance 1064, an ordinance regarding golf course water rates, raising the annual fee a nickel a year annually and beyond. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Hockett. Floor is open to comments or questions.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Jensen.
Thank you.
How are you?
Just so council and the public understand, this continues on the same pattern that's been going on the last 5 years or more of a nickel per thousand increase every year for the next 5 years. The other thing that is written into this ordinance is that if council doesn't address it in one way or another at the end of 5 years, it continues in that pattern until you do address it.
Any other comment?
Well, I might also make a comment that there is a line in this ordinance that in the event that the city of Winter is in an emergency with water, we can shut it down completely for the golf course. So they only get this if we're able to provide it.
The board was notified, the golf course board was notified.
Yeah, they're aware of it. That provision was in play in the past as well. There was, I believe, at least 1 year where there was some further discussion, almost implementation if they didn't implement, when we were going into potential water restrictions on drought years. So they're very much aware of it, and they had no problem with it.
Okay.
That was about 5 years ago
That
that
was
we had that
Is
discussion.
that what it was? Okay. Yeah.
Other comment? Hearing none, Chair will call the question. All those in favor of placing ordinance 1064 on first reading, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 7, council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to award the used dump truck bid to High Plains Truck and Trailer in the amount of $97,900.
$900?
Isn't that what I said? $97,900.
I heard 800 for some reason. Everybody all right? Okay. Is there a second to the motion? Councilman Clay has made a motion to award the used dump truck bid to High Plains Truck and Trailer in the amount of $97,900. Councilman Hockett has the second on the motion. Floor is open to comment or question.
Mr. Mayor, if I could request that council be willing to add this to the claims so that we can take possession and pay for it tomorrow. I'm sure Mr. Mathis would appreciate that as well.
Do we also need to include the contract?
We
for
should
the-
get like a $900 cash discount for
That
that.
is a pay as we go.
Okay.
Very good. Any other comment or question?
I have a question.
Councilman Clay with a question.
What about the remaining $2,100? Does that go back to the general?
It's up to you. If you want to make a motion that says that.
Mm-mm. Just leave it.
Okay. Who seconded this? I'm sorry.
Councilman Hockett did. Any other comment, council? Hearing none, Chair will call a roll call vote. Councilman Klent.
Yes.
Councilman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle.
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler.
Aye.
Councilman Clay.
Aye.
And Councilman Schramm.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and this motion carries. Item number 8, council, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the airport pre-application stating no projects in 2024 and authorize the mayor to sign it.
That's weird.
Second.
It is weird. I
That's
know.
a controversial motion. I'll tell
It
you.
is. It is. Councilman Klent has made a motion to approve the airport pre-application stating no projects in 2024 and authorize the mayor to sign the motion. It's been seconded by Councilman Hockett. Floor is open to comment.
Mr. Mayor and council, not only does it say we do not plan on having a project this fiscal year, it also is authorizing the FAA to carry our entitlements into the next year. So this is helping us carry our entitlements over from one year to the next. I do want to make you aware that I received a phone call this morning from Helms that they did do a walkthrough at the airport after our meeting and stated that they would be looking at some potential very minor runway maintenance, maybe moving that up to 2024 instead of 2025. Not a big deal. We have to have this one in. We don't have anything bid out. We don't even have specs out or anything. So if we do decide in 2024 that we want to push that forward a year into 2024, we would just go through this process again. But at this point in time, we have no plans. So that's what this is stating.
Other comments or questions? Hearing none, Chair will call the question by a roll call vote. Councilman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Sprinkle,
Yes.
Councilman Schuyler,
Aye.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Councilman Schramm,
Aye.
Councilman Clunt.
Yes.
I think I started with Councilman Hockett, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, you did.
The ayes have it, this motion carries. Item number 9, final item tonight for the City of Winter, the claims for the City of Winter. Council, is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to pay all claims, including the $97,900.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Councilman Clay has made a motion to pay all the claims for the City of Winter, including the $97,900 to High Plains Truck and Trailer. Motion has been seconded by Councilman Sprinkle. Floor is open to comment or question.
Mr. Mayor, it was brought to my attention that there was a claim left off the list to River Bottom Sanitation for our monthly sanitation fee of $31,786.50. I have to take full responsibility for this. It is my job to create the invoice for him that we pay based off of the numbers that we have, and I did not get that done before the claims list on Friday.
I'll make a motion to add that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Clunt has made a motion to add the payment to River Bottom Sanitation.
That
Seconded.
total amount was what, please?
31,000.
Go ahead.
$31,786.50.
That motion has been seconded by Councilman Hockett. All in favor of adding this to the claims, please say aye.
Aye.
Any other comment or question? Hearing none, Chair will call the question. All those in favor of paying the claims for the City of Winter as presented and including the $97,900 payment to High Plains Truck and Trailer and $31,786.50 to River Bottom Sanitation, would you please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, this motion carries.
Make your motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
He's already got it.
I'll second it.
Councilman Sprinkle has made a motion to adjourn. That motion has been seconded by Councilman Schuyler. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. City of Winter is now adjourned.
Wait,
I
should
thought
you be
those are the-
handing those to him?
I thought those were truck keys.
They were. They were the truck keys. You dropped them.
Because we think the bill is twice as much as it's supposed to be. Because we billed it for 5 different times. Labor up to. Oh, I saw that. I'm still.
Your mics are still
Your mics are still hot.